Hey guys, and welcome back to the Indie Spotlight here on the Fronsman Productions YouTube channel. If you're new to the series, this is where I take a look at independent films to help shine a spotlight on some of the amazing talent out there making indie movies. Today we're going to be talking about the short comedy Static Cling. Static Cling was written and directed by Steve Lifshay and stars B.J. Gruber as Kyle, an egotistical party bro at a laundromat. After Kyle spots Sally, played by Jackie McCarthy, across the room, he wants to try to impress her. However, after his zipper gets stuck on his coat, a series of embarrassing moments will ensue for poor Kyle. Meanwhile, Vic, played by Timothy J. Cox, has his own battle to deal with at the laundromat as he struggles to get a candy bar out of a vending machine. Throughout the film, we bounce back and forth between these two parallel tales as hilarious antics ensue. While Vic continues to struggle and try every trick in the book to get that darn candy bar out of that vending machine, Kyle becomes increasingly entangled in the coat that just won't come off. From getting his arms stuck inside of the coat to getting a huge pizza stain from a couple of dopey teenagers, Kyle just becomes increasingly more embarrassed as things ramp up with his coat that just won't come off. Meanwhile, we got Vic over here still trying to get that candy bar out. How will these two tales cross paths in the laundromat in Static Cling? Well, I'm not going to tell you because that's up to you to watch the movie and find out. So, to avoid spoilers, that's all I'm going to talk about for the plot. So instead, let's shift gears and talk about some of the filmmaking elements that really make Static Cling such a great short film. Comedy is oftentimes a hard genre to really do right in film, especially at an independent level. However, I think that Steve Lifshay does a brilliant job blending slapstick comedy and situational humor as well. With such a simple premise at the mundane location of a laundromat, I find that there is an excellent blend of taking the simple and making absurd situations that create hilarious effects. Even small details like a sharply dressed man reading a book about having sex on the moon really add some absurdity to such a simple premise. Having such small stakes played to the most extreme levels also really adds a lot of humor to the story. For Kyle, his main problem is that he has a stuck zipper and he's trying to avoid further embarrassment from a woman that he finds attractive. Meanwhile, Vic just wants that damn Hershey chocolate bar, right? So you take all this and you ramp it up to this intense quest for glory, and you take the most simple problems and elevate the drama, and it creates some hilarious results in the end. I also think that the art direction here in Static Cling also really deserves some love and attention. Let's take, for instance, just Kyle's coat, okay? You look at it and to most it's just a simple, basic, ugly blue coat. But when you put it on the ego Chad that is Kyle in the film, and you tack in the fact that it's going to contrast very, very harshly with the ugly red pizza stains that's going to end up on that coat later, and I think it was a brilliant idea to really add some more humor and character to the story. Even the side characters throughout this film are all dressed in very character-appropriate clothes that really help them stand out and feel unique as individuals, once again further blending in this idea of creating absurdity out of the most simple and mundane situations within a laundromat. We have a lot of really colorful and unique characters that are all populating this laundromat that help add character and charm to the already funny film. However, I think that my favorite element, in fact it's one that doesn't even get talked enough when you're talking about independent films, is the sound design. I really think that the sound design was done perfectly in Static Cling and adds so much more character to the story. Even if you take some of the more simple Foley sound effects, like the ruffling of the hairs of Vic's beard from the beginning of the film, it really sets the tone that we're going to have very detailed and powerful Foley sound effects throughout this movie that are really going to add and intensify and amplify the details, and I find that it's in the details of Static Cling that really give the movie such humor and wit. I also find that the music by Vicarious Musical Productions really helps to add that cartoonish slapstick charm to the situational live action comedy. overall, I really do find that the sound design here is terrific. And if you were to take away some of the Foley sound effects and you took away just the perfectly placed music by Vicarious Musical Productions, a lot of the character and a lot of the charm that really makes Static Cling work so well would be lost in the process. This is definitely an example of a short film that really shows you how important sound design is to the overall product of your movie. And this isn't to take away from the amazing cinematography done by Jesse Feldberg. However, I really do want to highlight the sound design because, like I said, it really doesn't get enough love in indie films. And what I find with a lot of beginner independent filmmakers is they're so focused and so hung up on the shot composition and maybe even the lighting and, you know, and a lot of the camera side that sound often becomes overlooked. And I really find that that's one of the most important elements of any movie that you should really spend some time getting right. Really get the sound right. And, you know, a lot of the time if you're watching a movie, if there's good sound, you don't recognize it. But if there's bad sound, you do. Well, when I watch movies, especially on a, you know, small independent level like Static Cling, I really do pay attention to all of the elements. And when I look at such, or listen to rather, such great sound design, it really sticks out to me as a perfect shining example that every independent filmmaker should watch and study this movie purely off the sound design alone. But on top of that, it's just a great funny short film overall. So normally this is the part of the video where I go ahead and tell you about the link in the description where you can watch the movie I'm talking about in this video. But in this case, there is no link to watch Static Cling. The movie is currently still within its film festival run. However, I recommend that you stay tuned and tapped in right here to Fronsman Productions because believe me when I say, the moment that that film becomes publicly available, I'm going to go ahead and make a post here on my YouTube channel to link to it to where you could go ahead and check that out. And I'll also update the description of this video later on down the line as well. But anyway, guys, that is all I have time for you here today. Remember, if you like this video and you want to see even more videos on independent filmmaking, go ahead and subscribe, drop a like, smash that bell for notifications. And if you yourself are an independent filmmaker and you would love for me to talk about your movie on the Indie Spotlight, all you got to do is down in the comments, I want to know what is the name of your movie, where can I watch that bad boy, and I will add that independent film to my watch list to talk about in a future video. Yes, shorts and features are both welcomed on the Indie Spotlight. All right, guys. Anyway, until next time, as always, you know the drill. That's a wrap.